Soul Tribe, I must share this technique with you. This video is going to be titled, The Spiritual Death Wave Technique Explained. The Spiritual Death Wave. Before I go on, the key word to keep in mind for this to all make sense to you in regards to why I'm sharing this technique with you, in regards to why I'm saying these words out to you. Ego. That is the key word to keep in mind before I go on. Ego is the key word to keep in mind. Spiritual death wave. Spiritual death wave technique. So, the twos are going to be important here. Twos. The angel number twos are going to be very important here. Why do I say that? Because this technique is one of the two ways I have to kill all of the oppressors. There ain't too many ways I can talk to you all after these coming few moments that are going to be calm and cordial and stoic. No, it's going to be some R and R. R and R. I have two ways to kill the oppressive body. Two ways. Peace out. The main way, the non-physical way, the spiritual death wave technique. This is the way I'm going to use no matter what you desire to happen. Ego is the key word to keep in mind here. You know, you keep destroying yourself because you don't know yourself. You keep destroying yourself because you don't know yourself. Nothing of which the society at large, nothing of their ethnical nature, nor of their ethical grounds, have the authority to dictate who and or what you truly are. Love. Nothing outside of you can decide how you should be. You should this or you should that. You need to. You should. You need to shut up. You should shut up. Stop talking. Be silent. Shut your mouth. Respond like that sometimes. Because in reality, what they are trying to do is to convince you to keep on failing at everything and suffering to death. Remember, wants are wishes and desires, hopes. The only thing that the enemy wants, hopes and wishes and desires, is for you to fail at everything. Needs, foundational grounds. The structure, the basic needs, foundational infrastructure. The only thing the enemy needs you to do is suffer to death. The only thing the enemy wants, wishes, and desires for you to do, conscious mind, fail at everything. The only thing the enemy needs, indoor desire, or indoor has the foundational building grounds for you to do, is suffer to death. Physically, suffer to death. Mentally, fail at everything. If you had a sense of self and what it was truly and the importance of self, if you had that sense, this so-called devil government would have no ability to charge you into this direction. It would lose all power and control. And so, this is going to be the spiritual death wave. I was thinking about making this an infinity series, but instead, I'm just going to see to it, it'll be an introduction. More information. So, intellectually, the spirit, or not spirit, this enemy, this oppressive nature, it only wants you to fail at everything. Subconsciously, it only wants you to suffer to death. Meaning, intellectually, It wants you to see only failure as your outcome of your life. It only wants you to fail in life. And then foundationally, behavior-wise, it only wants you to behave in a way that'll lead you to an early grave. And as you suffer on every step that you take towards that early grave, suffer every step that you take towards that early grave. So, the reality is, how is this, let me not say that. How is this able to work? Ethos, to and through you all. This enemy works its desires to and through my home. This enemy has been invading my home since I had my home. What is my home? All of humanity is my home. Speaking from the Spirit, speaking for the Spirit. I'm speaking for the Spirit when I say these words. All of humanity is my home, says the Spirit. All of humanity is my home, says the Spirit soul. And I just want my home to be liberated. Because right now my home is in an open air prison, being told to fail at everything, and suffer to death for no reason at all. But see, the thing is, I am my home. Speaking for the Spirit, speaking for the Spirit soul. I am my home. You follow me? Who am I? Spirit soul says. Spirit soul says, I am love. And I am undisturbed love, and unconditionally undisturbed love. That's what Spirit soul says I am. My behavioral characteristics display a disposition to do good, and a disposition to do balance and good only. This is what Spirit soul says. This is what self says. Self, the whole you. Who is the whole self? A life form. You have a life force inside of your life form, giving you your abilities to be what you were born to be. You were born to be love, not born to be enslaved. You were born to walk in peace, love, unity, and advancement. Not born to be enslaved to war, hatred, division, and stagnates. Spiritual death wave. The spiritual death wave technique. Why do I keep saying such harsh words like death when I am talking from the Spirit, though? Well, let's never forget, physically, who I personally am is one that cannot stand any of you on this planet at all. Primarily the oppressive non-melanated people, because they're the root reasoning for all of the problems in the first place. But in actuality, I can't stand any of you. Me personally. Spiritually speaking, though, meaning from the higher conscious mind, not the lower conscious mind, I love every last one of you. I literally cannot stop loving every last one of you. Speaking from the Spirit's perspective, I cannot stop loving you. You ever heard of that singer Kim? K-E-M, not K-I-M. He had the song, I Can't Stop Loving You. I'm not going to try to sing. My voice ain't in the best shape right now. I just can't stop loving you, says the Spirit soul. That's the Spirit soul's nature, though. That's your self. That's your higher self's nature. Unconditional, undisturbed love is what you are, meaning your whole higher self is. Without the Spirit soul, you are nothing. You know this though, right? Everybody does. You just want to act like you don't know it, so you can be what something outside of you wants to be versus what you actually are, love. Recognize these words. The whole point and the purpose of the spiritual death wave technique is to force balance your egos. That's the whole point of it. I'm leaving out some impactful points for a reason. Because when the explanation begins to truly roll out, it'll be a lot more impactful quotes that come from the explanation. Besides, your jealousy is so devil-like. As soon as you see something you ain't got in a certain way, You want to kill somebody so you can feel like you took it from them. It's all about your imaginary, made-up, useless, worthless, disgusting feelings. You have no idea how much my lowest self despises you. But my higher self can't stop loving you, literally. My literal cosmic love for you is endless. I have an endless amount of cosmic love for you. This is how I know the spiritual death wave technique is going to be so successful. I know it is. So take it. Here. The spiritual death wave technique. The moral of its ideology, or the moral of its purpose, is to force balance the egos of every man, woman, and child alive in the galaxy, in the cosmos. Force balance your egos. I'm going to force balance your egos just by saying words out loud of how to do it, and why I'm doing it, and why I'm saying the words out loud for it to manifest, or for it to happen, or for it to take place, or for it to apply resurrection. So, force balance your egos. The key word here to the spiritual death to be successful. Why do I keep saying spiritual death? Simple, because who and or what you are right now is the devil's advocate. You are doing what the devil wants you to do. You are doing what the devil wants you to do. Once God's innocence is proven unto thee. Once God's in the same story. Once God is innocence proven unto thee. What's ultimately going to happen are these following words. You're going to get a chance to see and or know who the true God is. Once you know who the true God is, just so happens you're going to know who you truly are. Oops. I'm just trying to tell you who God is, and that the true God ain't responsible for any of the destruction going on in your life at all. The fake God is. Capital discernment. The real God is innocent. The fake God is guilty. Real God is innocent. The fake God is guilty. And all these things that I am saying since I have been posting since 2023 now, all these things I have been saying is to prove this one thing to you: God's innocence, the true God. And just by doing so, it's going to bring you full awareness of who the true God is, because you have to know who the person is in order to see his innocence or its innocence. It's going to work. Reality is, you ain't got no choice but to let it work. Why ain't you ain't got no choice? Because I'm a real life supervillain. Yeah. I am what you would refer to as devil. I don't want you to trust me. Don't trust me. I don't want you to trust me. Trust the spirit. I despise you in every way possible. The spirit doesn't. I will always despise you, you worthless creature, you. The spirit can't. Do not trust me. Do not respect me. You already don't care for me. Keep it up. I'm starting to see through empathy why you do. I'm not going to let your hatred internalize in me. I actually can't. Your hatred can't internalize. It can't. So that means it's just going to stay on the surface, trying to imbalance my ego. I'm getting ready to tell you what ego is in a moment. I'm just saying a whole lot of more stuff so it can be more impactful soon. Let me tell you, watch this. So, you, due to me not allowing your hatred to internalize, because if it internalizes, hatred will control me and not love. Only love controls me. Only love controls me. Only love tells me to do what to do with my life. Since you always want to say God talks so much. God is talking. God is saying stuff to you. Okay. God is literally love, cosmically speaking, galactically speaking, astrologically speaking. All the sciences, all the branches of science tell us who God is. The three main branches of science: the physical science, the earth and or space science, and then you have the life science, which is biology. All the information tells us about This one true God's characteristics. All of them do, when you look at them more closely. What is science? The study of something. Did you know in physics, frequencies are used to measure waves? Did you know that? The word frequency, what it literally is, it's a tool of eyesight to measure the behavior of a wave. Frequency, the word in its literal meaning, is a tool for eyesight to measure the movements, the non-stop movements of a wave. The non-stop movements of the way in which something is behaving, in which you could align with properly if you had balanced egos and not imbalanced egos. So the spiritual death wave technique, more words to pile it up together to make it make more sense, is to force balance your imbalanced egos. And once your imbalanced egos get to be forced balanced, what you do right now currently will not be what you do anymore. Get away from me. Get out of my way. So, just gonna keep saying a bunch of words out loud that's gonna force balance your egos. Force balance your imbalanced egos. And long story short, I'm about to skyrocket your ego. I'm going to literally, spiritually uplift your egos so high that they're going to go beyond infiniteness into omnipresentness. Why do I want all of humanity to be so powerful? So that humanity can kick the devil's behind. I don't like to use profanity. But you gotta know who the devil is in order to know where to go and punch it. Beat it up. Drag it through the dirt, as all of our women want to do currently, since the devil wanted to put enmity betwixt brother and sister so desperately. Use all of the devil's techniques against the devil. That's what the spiritual death wave technique is going to do once you all get it. Get it. Now here's the time, or here's how you can get ready to get it. After all that I just said for the past 17 and a half plus minutes, the word ego literally defines as, before I move on and say it, make everything meaningful. Make it all meaningful. Because everything of meaning comes from the love source itself. Comes from the source of love itself. Everything of meaning comes from the cosmic source of love itself. Itself. The word ego, here we go, meaning now. The word ego literally defines as a person's sense of self-importance or self-esteem. Self-esteem being the behavior. Self-importance being the awareness. Conscious mind, subconscious mind. You see how it connects? Remember, everything in spirit operates as one, just like the word character defines as the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. It all acts as one in the powers of the spirit. We just got words that we can use to label and describe how two things are together doing one thing at the same time. We got words that we can use to label and describe how two things are doing one thing at the same time. Like the word ego. It tells you about its multiple senses in the one definition. Multiple senses. Multiple. A person's sense of self-esteem or sense of self-importance. Notice I switched them up because either you could say it however you want to say it. The literal definition actually says a person's sense of self-importance or sense of self-esteem or sense of self-importance. It says esteem first and importance second. The powers go to the heart first, and then they are funded to the mental. And as the mental decides what it wishes to do with it, After the decision is made, it tells the heart where to go, which direction to move. But first the heart funds the mind, the mental life it needs to go thereof, or to decide and make the decision or make the choice regarding what's going to be important and what is not going to be important. Fundamentality. The heart funds your mental to be what it is, or gives it its abilities to be what it is. And your mind is the control center. What sits on the throne tells you what to do. Imagine if love sat on the throne, or light. What do you think light and or love would tell you to do? Be what it is, maybe? The frequential measurements of love, what are they? Did you know each of the chakras have a Hertz number? Hertz measurement, a numeric measurement, or numerical measurement. They all do. Moving forward. So, the spiritual death wave is going to force balance your imbalance sense of self-importance or sense of self-esteem. That's what that's what my spiritual death wave is going to be. Non-physically ending your lives. The only thing you are about to get with me is death. That's it. I'm not bringing you anything else with this content other than you dying. I cannot stand you at all. Spirit can. I can't, nor will I, nor are you about to convince me to stand you. Fall down. I am going to be your enemy until I am gone. Period. Do not care for you whatsoever. Spirit does. I don't. Trust the Spirit, not me. You can trust the Spirit all day. Love the Spirit, respect the Spirit, trust the Spirit, respect the Spirit. Do not trust or respect me. I don't want you to. I can't stand you at all. So, I'm just going to keep forcing you to look into what you truly are and make it important. What are you truly, love? Why is love not important? You want to know why love isn't important to you, you dingus? Because hatred is, and only hatred is. That's why you stand on it. And you feel like hatred is you. You feel like hatred is you. I'm love. At least that's what my spirit is. That's what my spirit is. My spirit is love. I'm my spirit. I can't stand you at all. I mean, I can try to stand hatred. Nah, ain't no point, because what is it going to get me? Hatred is not going to get me anywhere in my life at all. Literally, you want to know why? Because hatred is anti-life. Why do you want everything to die so desperately? Who taught you to hate yourself, which is the entire universe? Who taught you to hate God, which is the entire universe? Who taught you these things? Honestly, I can freestyle the whole spiritual death wave, which is what I'm doing. Who taught you to hate the entire reality you are inside of? Because you want to know what it's doing, want to know what it's showing? An imbalanced sense of self-importance. What happens if you have a fake and or false and or imbalanced and or wrong sense of self? What's the right sense of self? What's the correct sense of self? What's the naturalized or naturalist or naturalistic or natural sense of self, period? Love is a natural sense of self, right? I'm quite sure we just validated it a few times over and over again. So that means love is a life-giving energy, a life force energy. That's what love is, right? And when you are operating from a proper sense of self-importance, you would see to it that thine entire being would only live for its own well-being. You would be the being you wish to be if you had balanced sense of self-esteem versus an imbalanced sense of self-esteem. A damaged, knocked off its pivotal knocked off of its proper pivotal axle. Your self-esteem has been. Your sense of self has been. Time to balance out your sense of self by any moral means necessary. This takes place, you're gone. You don't corrupt and or add more hatred to this surfaced hatred that I have any longer. What do I mean by surfaced hatred? I am not allowing your hatred to internalize because I am not allowing your hatred to control me. So I'm just going to turn all of your hate into like a hate shield. And I'm going to just use it to keep all your stuff out of my mind. I don't want your aspects in my mind, heart space. I don't want your character traits in my mind, heart space. I don't want your mental and moral qualities telling me how mine should be. Because your mental and moral qualities are only to ensure mentally I see failure, morally suffer to death. Don't even make any sense. How could something moral desire you to suffer early until you die, or suffer into an early grave? That sounds like it's immoral, the opposite of morals. God is the source of all moral authority, only things good, because God is good all the time, life force. If only you all knew who you truly were, you wouldn't be acting like you ain't. I'm just gonna keep putting the knowledge in your faces. What you gonna do about it? I know God. I know God very well. God ain't gonna do nothing about it at all. So I can just forcefully balance your egos, or say or do whatever I want on this here internet or any little platform that I get onto. It makes no difference. I know who God is and I know how God operates. I know how to take advantage of God. I do. I'm watching God every day doing nothing to fix itself. It's almost like God enjoys the punishment being forced upon it right now. God, do you like being colonized? Wow. What a question, huh? Do you like being enslaved, God? Seems like you like being enslaved, God. What is wrong with you, God? Because the reality is, God, you, as you are right, are all love. Crime shouldn't even exist in our reality at all. Remember, the oppressive body is provoking us to do the crime so they can have a feel-like reason to shut us down. But in reality, all they're doing is preventing us from doing one thing, living as the God we are meant to live as. It's just common sense, yo. Sense of self. Do you even have a sense of self? Who are you? Do you know who you art? What is your sense of self? Do you know what your self is? Think about it. Did you know there's about 3 yous that make the one you in which you are, technically 4? Why do I say technically 4? Because of the space you are in. Get out of my way. Look at my chakra tree Murdy parable for a moment. If you would, you don't have to. Do whatever you want. Quite sure you're going to pick the dumbest thing to do anyway. So look, my chakra tree Murdy parable, right? So I got this belief that the soul star chakra is the conscious mind of the Most High God, where the wants, beliefs, and desires are. The subconscious mind is the crown chakra, where the foundation is. The moral settings, the moral standards, what you need, your basic needs, your behavioral, the root to your behavior. And what does that root connect to? Your mind. Know better, you do better. Then, the physical body of the Most High God, or every planet in the galaxy, all the planets thereof, as well as us. Everything physical in which connects to the source of the light's life-giving force is of the true Most High God, because the light force, the light life force itself, the light force or the life force itself is the true Most High God. The planets thereof, as well as us, it lives inside of we. We are its incarnation. It's just trying to drive properly, drive the right way, which is through love, or on love. So, next, that's the first thing. It's the first mind that we have, our source. The source of life. Soul star chakra, crown chakra. What is a chakra? Spiritual power. Spirit is a non-physical part of a person, like ego is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance, sense of self. So all the soul star information is, all this chakra information I'm spitting to you, all this just sense of self, give you more sense of self. The more sense of the self that you gain, the more the government and or the evil wickedry and the principalities of this world cannot tell you how to be yourself. They will not have the powers nor the abilities to do so. You will be free. Break the curse. You see the train of hatred coming in to try to put more hatred unto you and try to pile it in, to try to get it in and control you. Will destroy the train then. And then throw the weapon you use to destroy it in the water. Just throw it away or sheath it. I say sheath it after you use it to destroy the train. First, you got to get the weapon you need to destroy the train, because you ain't going to do it with your bare hands like you Superman or something, or Hancock, right? From the Will Smith movie. I said we use a sword with fire and vibranium adamantium moving forward. So, destroy the train as it's coming. How can you destroy an incoming train if you cannot see it? This here Chakra Tree Murdy parable will give you the abilities to see it. If you take a listen to it and read between the lines the best way you can to understand how it can help you see it. Because it's telling you who you are, your characteristics, your nature. The second one, the third eye chakra, the throat chakra, and the heart chakra. The conscious mind is the third eye chakra, where ego is. The primary mental faculty sense for the third eye chakra is your ego, your sense of self. What kind of sense of self? Any kind of sense of self. There's two of them in the definition. A sense of self-esteem and a sense of self-importance. How many sense of selves can you calculate or can you put up? I got about 8 of them in total when we come to talking about the conscious mind of the King of Kings. The King of Kings conscious mind. Third eye chakra. The King of Kings subconscious mind. Throat chakra. The King of Kings physical body or non-physical body, because it's physical and non-physical body. The heart chakra itself. That's the King of Kings. That's one of our selves right there. One of our abilities to make us be what we are. The King of Kings. Those 3 sets right there. I see about 8 sense of selves. About 8 of them. What are they? Good, beautiful, or not good, beautiful, normal, natural? Well, actually, yeah. How did I say it before I started the video? Because I planned the way I was going to tell you it. So I see a sense of goodness. I see a sense of evil. I see a sense of balance and a sense of quiescentness. So that's only 4. Okay. I was thinking of the peace, love, unity, and advancement, war, hatred, division, and stagnance idea. I was thinking of those 8 words. You have a sense of peace. You have a sense of self-peace, a sense of self-love, a sense of self-unification, or a sense of self-integrity, or a sense of self-balanced integrity, or this is still third thing, or a sense of self-righteousness, right? And then you have a sense of progression. That was the first 4 I was thinking of before I started the video. Then you have a sense of self-war, conflict with self, battling self because of what the outside world puts into your mind, heart spaces for you to battle. There is not supposed to be anything in your mind, heart spaces that you need to battle right now. Nothing. You have a sense of self-hatred that comes from the outside world. Again, it is not your own. It is not your own. From what I can see, you only got 4 senses primarily. One is for peace, love, unity, and advancement. Sense of self-peace, sense of self-love, sense of self-unification, or sense of self-integrity, or sense of self-righteousness, and then the sense of self-progression, the sense of self-advancement, the sense of self-well-being, constantly moving better and better and getting up there in life, not quiescent, not stagnant. Then the third one, you have a sense of self-division, desire to separate yourself from this truth, accept this proposition of how powerful you truly are so you can apply it to your own life. Accept it. This is why I saw 8 from this dimension right here, because the main mental faculty sense of the third eye chakras, mental faculty senses, the major one is ego itself. And the literal definition of ego is sense of self, a person's sense of self. You can say self-importance or you can say self-esteem, but the way I like to see it to make more sense, a person's sense of self is what the ego is. What kind of sense of self? It's about 2 more of them in the definition. There's one that has the sense of self-importance, and there's one that has a sense of self-esteem. I'm going to look at what the word logically means right now for a moment so I can boost your egos overwhelmingly. Spiritual development by any moral means necessary to the infinite roof and beyond, to the omnipresence. Full awareness of who and or what thine are. So you can accept it, and then apply it, and then live on top of it for all the days of your lives. My vengeance upon you all will be to see you all be obligated to do better for all the days of your lives. This is my vengeance upon you. This is the spiritual death wave technique. And the spiritual death wave technique, what it is in actuality, a forced balance of your imbalanced egos. A forced balance of your imbalanced sense of self-esteem or a sense of self-importance or a sense of self-peace. Balancing your sense of self-peace, balancing a person's sense of self-love, balancing a person's sense of self-unification, or balancing a person's sense of self-integrity or sense of self-righteousness, balancing those things out. What does the word balance mean? To keep something upright and steady, to make sure that it does not fall down. Do not fall down back into the enemy's trap of being imbalanced. That's what the enemy wants you to stay. Unable to help yourself, be powerless, defenseless. That's what the enemy wants you to remain. Why? Because it only wants you to fail at everything, and it only needs you to suffer to death. That's what your government wants. That's what your so-called world government wants. That's why all these countries act the same way they do right now. You take a minute to listen to the way God is talking to and through the people. You take a minute to listen. In every language, you'll end up hearing the same arguments. They got subtitles though. All the languages came from, all the dividing languages came from the same place. Did you know there are about 7,130 some languages in the world today? Just like there are 10,000 religions and 5,000 tribes. 33,000 gangs in the country of America alone. 33,000 people willing to take their own lives for no reason. You don't have a reason to do what you are doing to each other. You don't have a reason for killing my pieces of family. I'm starting to feel all of these deaths, man. Or I could just sense them happening because we don't have the power. And I know we don't, and I can see it. It ain't our power. This ain't our power, man. Sense of self-esteem or a sense of self-importance, sense of self, sense of self. What is ego also defined as? Before I go on, let me finish that last fourth one that I had there. The devil's ego, your fake imbalanced ego, wants you to have another fourth thing, a sense of self-stagnation. A sense of self-stagnation. That's what the devil wants you to have. 4x4, 8 in total, 8-dimensional view. Your balanced ego will bring you a person's sense of self-love or sense of self-peace, or your personal sense of self-peace, your personal sense of self-love, your personal sense of self-integrity, and your personal sense of self-advancement. That's what a balanced ego would bring you. There's multiple senses in that definition, but then the devil's imbalancing ego will bring you a sense of self-war, bring you a sense of self-hatred, bring you a sense of self-dividance or sense of self-division. You are not good enough to do the right thing you feel like, so keep yourself away from doing the right thing. Believe in these things that'll separate you from the rest of thine own family members. And or a sense of self-stagnation. You know what that connects to? Suicidal thoughts. Where do those come from? Where do suicidal thoughts come from? Imbalanced egos. You people say things like your ego is getting in the way. You don't even know what it is. I do. I'm going to use it to spiritually kill you. Four by four. Force balancing your imbalanced egos. Spiritual development by any moral means necessary. Why do I say I'm a villain? Because your world is reversed. Remember, everything bad is seen as good and everything good is seen as bad. I see you as a people who deserves what you are. You don't deserve what you pretend to be. Remember, your fake egos got you pretending to be what you are. You are not what you are currently. The only problem is you're just real stupid, fake evil. Just like you're a real problem and a fake solution. Just like the devil wants you to be. Problematic in the mind. False solution driving in the heart space. Just like the devil. Problem and solution simultaneously. That's what your fake ego is giving you. That's what your imbalanced egos are giving you. So I'm going to kill them. Make you go back to normal. I know who God is. God ain't going to do nothing to me about what I'm saying. God ain't even doing nothing about what the people in this so-called world of his are saying about him or it. Spiritual death wave. All it is just a forced balance of your imbalanced egos. What's another definition of ego? And I'm going to close the video out. A part of the mind responsible for reality testing. Reality testing. Remember, there is negative energy within the mind space and positive energy within the mind space. But in actuality, they're balanced out in a perfect energetic coexistent mesh. Negative energy and positive energy. The ego is the part of the mind. So your sense of self is a part of your mind, which is responsible for reality testing. Your sense of self is responsible for reality testing. What does it mean by reality testing? Negative energy. Negative energy in a subtle state is force. If you just look at the definition and what it says, go look at the definition and see what it says. Go define it. force, subtle negative energy. Your ego is the reason why you don't die when you sleep. Your ego is the part of your mind that prevents you from dying when you sleep, preventing your body from returning to the Most High God's natural status, and giving your body a chance to be the light in which drives its vehicle. You need every part of you. Every portion of you is important. Every member of you is important. Protect this house. Will you protect this house? These words just that one way these words will. These words are going to kill you all. Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's not about a competition with me. It's only about the awareness and knowledge of what needs to be stopped. You. Take the damn mask, the frickin' mask off of your face and be what you were meant to be. Now. You better hope I don't get a single portion of my power back. I'll show you what a real-life benevolent dictator is. It's not about a competition with me. I don't want to compete with any of you. I don't. I just want you to get it so you can stop being what you are. A nuisance to me in every way possible. I don't seek to be your friend. I don't seek to be your savior. I don't seek to be your king. I don't seek to compete with you. I seek to put you down. Period. I gathered all this love knowledge to stop you from being the hatred in which you are. It just so happens that the hatred is all that you are. So now you got me. And everything that is going to be inspired to be like me. That is just going to end you all with the love you feel like you so desperately crave to be ended by. What you think going to change the world? What you think is going to help the world? What do you think is going to force fix the world? What do you think is going to do it? That's all. No competition. I'm not competing with you. I'm attacking you. I'm just going to do it in a certain way. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.